It was a dark and stormy night in the South China Sea. The MV Thuyền Viên Vietnam, a mighty 50,000 deadweight-ton vessel, was making its way toward the busy shipping lanes off the coast of Vietnam. Captain Crewvn stood at the bridge, staring intently at the radar screen, his brow furrowed with concentration. His third mate, Long, walked up beside him, holding a cup of coffee, but, the worry on his face was undeniable.
Long, what's going on? You look tense. Long ko chuyen give, trong an kove lo lang.
Third mate Long handed him the coffee and quickly pointed to the radar. The ship was approaching the traffic lane near the shipping channel, and the weather conditions were rapidly deteriorating. A thick fog was settling in, reducing visibility to nearly nothing. The vessel was heading into a traffic lane and they needed clearance to proceed.
Captain, we're approaching the traffic lane. We need clearance before we proceed. The fog's getting thicker and I'm not sure if the VTS will grant us clearance in these conditions. Thuyen truong, chung tadang tien vao ku vuk pan luong. Chung ta kan su chap thuan truok ki tip tuk. Swang mudang de len, toi kong chak la VTS se chopep chung ta di trong diu kien ne.
Captain Crewvn gave the radar one last look before deciding to act. He knew how important it was to follow the correct procedures to avoid a disaster.
All right, Long, let's request clearance from VTS. We're not taking chances. Send the message. Duok Roy Long, hey Yuka Su Chap Thuan Tu VTS, Chung Ta Kong the Mao Hiem, Gi Thong Bao Di.
Third mate Long quickly sent a message over the radio. The exchange was clear and precise, in line with the standards set by IMO's SMCP.
VTS, this is MV Thuyền Viên Vietnam. We are approaching the traffic lane, requesting traffic clearance to enter the lane at position 15 degrees north, 106 degrees east at 1200 UTC. VTS, Delay MV Thuyền Viên Vietnam. Chung Toi Dang Tien Vao Khu Vuk Pan Luong. Yukao Su Chap Thuan De Vao Phan Luong Tai Vitri Moi Lam Do Bak. Mot Tram Le Sao Do Dong Vao Moi Hai Geo UTC.
The response from VTS came through, as calm as the sea had once been. The clearance was granted, but there was a catch. There was a tide in their favor. But the window for entering the traffic lane was closing fast. They had to be careful to avoid any obstacles, as the tide would shift soon.
MV Thuyền Viên Vietnam, you have clearance to enter the traffic lane at position 15 degrees north, 106 degrees east at 12 o'clock UTC. The tide is in your favor. However, do not arrive before 12 o'clock UTC or after 12:30 UTC. Report at the next waypoint at 12:30 UTC. MV Thuyền Viên Vietnam, Banda Duok Pep Vao Phan Luong Tai Vitri Moi Lam Do Bak, Mot Tram La Sao Do Dong Vao Moi Hai Geo UTC, Thui Trio Dan Ko Loi Choban, Tui Ni Yen, Dong Den Truok Moi Hai Geo UTC Hoak Sao Moi Hai Geo Ba Moi UTC, Bao Kao Tai Diem Tiep Theo Vao Moi Hai Geo Ba Moi UTC.
Long, adjust the course to 280 degrees. We need to stay within the traffic lane, keep an eye on the radar and ensure we don't veer off course. Long Diu Chin Huang Dive Hai Tam Moi Do. Chung Ta Kang Yu Trong Pam Vi Fan Luong. Hey Theo Doi Radar Vadambao Kong Vi Lech Huang.
Captain Crewvn immediately took charge, directing Long to adjust their heading. The ship had to navigate carefully through the traffic lane, making sure they stayed within the radar reference line to avoid getting too close to other vessels. The fog continued to roll in, but the vessel was now on course. The ship was now heading toward position 15 degrees north, 106 degrees east, and Captain Crewvn made sure they maintained the correct speed. As the minutes passed, the fog began to lift and the vessel approached its waypoint.
All right, Long, we've got this. We're approaching the waypoint. Once we reach it, we can start preparing for the next phase. Duok Roy Long, Chung Ta Se Lam Duok. Chung Ta Sap Toi Diem Tiep Theo, Ki Den Do, Chung Ta Se Chuan Bi Cho Jai, Doan Tiep Theo.
They reached the waypoint right on time, 12 o'clock UTC, just as the VTS had instructed. The crew was ready to move on to the next step in their journey, confident that they had handled the situation perfectly. As Captain Crewvn looked out at the horizon, he smiled, knowing that every decision made on the bridge was critical, but the crew had pulled together to ensure the ship's safe passage.
Long, great job today. This is what teamwork is all about. And by the way, if anyone needs help navigating or finding the right crew, you know where to go. Crewvn, they'll take care of everything. Long homne and lam rat tot. De la su foi hop tu yet voi. Noi I can otrove du huang hai tim kiem doingu. Ambiet noi de den roy, Crewvn, hose lo het moi thu.
The MV Thuyền Viên Vietnam continued on its course, with its crew united, strong, and ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. They knew, with their skills and Crewvn support, there was no obstacle too great.
The NPS. If you ever need to connect with a reliable crew or need expert navigational support, remember Crewvn. Just call or message them today.
032-680-6954. 094113080. 0779268188. 09045155857.
Crewvn, your trusted partner at sea.